Hey, what's going on? Just finished up another trading with friends with a good friend of mine, Gary. He's been trading for a couple years and just wanted to get a better handle on his technical analysis. So we went over the things that I look at when I'm entering trades, support, resistance, and trend lines, and a nice, refresh to a beginner's guide to how to trade. So hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and most importantly, share it. So enjoy it.
All right, cool. So the British lady has told us that it is recording. We are recording in progress.
Thank you, British lady.
Right. What have you been watching? Just tell me what you've been doing the last few months since you've been
Okay, so I've been back trading a little bit. I have been in some, doing the typical in some Discord links, following along with some trades. There was a guy I was working with, Trent, who's actually was really good. And he was basically kind of helping me with like the fundamental analysis. So what he would do is not necessarily, like I would meet with him like once a week. And what we would do is he wouldn't really like tell you just what trades to do, but he would kind of try to help you understand what's going on. Like we would go through FinViz, we would go through like what the market itself is doing. He would just give me tips like that. Like, hey, like, if the market is going this way, make sure you're looking at this before you, place trades, look at this kind of stuff. But that's been about it. Really, I've just been kind of in Discord links and just kind of like looking at, trades and just kind of taking trades, but not really understanding the trade. Luckily, the people I've been following have been pretty good, so I haven't been losing no money.
Okay.
The only little bit of money I lost was like me just trying some shit without paying attention. But other than that, yeah, just been kind of getting lucky. And now, I want to go ahead and try to put that more money into, so I can actually day trade. But I'm like, man, I want to actually understand more of what the hell I'm doing.
Okay, got you. Okay. That makes perfect sense. I think every trader in his or her journey bounces around to different Discords before they actually find one that they like. Me included. So, I'm no different. I've been with Option Swing for, I don't know, two years or about 2 years now. So
actually, they send me emails. I just didn't know if they were good.
Yeah. We can talk about that later, but it works. But the thing really to be a profitable trader, and there are two things that are the most important. One is understanding market conditions, and the other is understanding your risk, like your real risk, like capital management and not blowing up accounts. So that's probably those are the two most important things with trading that I think get overlooked more so than buy Microsoft 330 calls, 4 days of expiration, stuff like that, bi-weeklies. It's just so much bigger than that.
I've blown accounts before. Yeah.
Oh, we all have. So, you can look at. Can you see my chart here on the screen? All right. One sec. Hold on. So, understanding market structure and what the indices are doing. The indices meaning the Dow, NASDAQ, NQ, and SPY or SPX. So understanding
you said NASDAQ. What was that one?
NQ. Yeah. NASDAQ, SPY. Just basically, I'll dumb it down. QQQ and SPY.
Okay, cool.
So understanding what those are doing. I'll pull up SPY. Actually, no, I don't want to do SPY. Understanding what those are doing and where they are in relation to what the rest of the market is doing is key. So you can see, if you knew nothing else about what was going on in the market, what does this tell you? What is? I think I can annotate on here.
It's on the downward trend.
Yeah, it's on a downtrend, right? So the market structure is we're making lower highs and lower lows, right? Do you understand? I think we broke this down before: higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. So
well, basically, when it bounces back up, it's still going lower than it did
exactly before. Right. So right now, what we've experienced over the last, going back from basically the top of the new year. So we were at 4,800 on SPX. and we just slid all the way down. So we had this downward channel that we just broke this week, right? So I drew a channel, right? So we were in a downtrend. We just now broke this because what you're looking at is, put that over there. What you're looking at is a channel that we finally broke, right? So now we have what's called a trend change. So this is the 1 day time frame. We were in a downtrend where we couldn't break over these lower highs, right? So this one here, this one here, and we finally broke over, right? So here we are. We're now in theory, what can be a trend change, and we start doing this. So we go from making lower highs and lower lows to higher highs and higher lows. So this is ideally what we want to see. What's happened today is we have paused, and let me clean this up because I like clean charts. What we've done today is we've paused right at resistance. So the three things that you, excuse me, that you need to understand going into any trade and before you do anything else is understanding one, market structure, support and resistance, and then your trend lines. So I don't know how familiar you are with drawing trend lines.
I actually have never. I mean, you sent me a video a while ago, and I looked at it. I mean, I might have done 2 years ago, but no, I'm not familiar with it at all.
Okay, so I think the easiest thing. Okay, it's pretty easy, to identify what, like you look at this. This is an uptrend, right? Where all of this is an uptrend. You know which way the market's going. You know that, if SPY is going up like this, Apple is going to go up too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that if we move down here, we're in a downtrend, SPY is going to go down. It's just, it's just natural. So that's what's going to happen. I think the easiest way for you to learn is to start with, always start on the daily. And even before you start day trading, I would swing trade. I would start understanding how stocks move over a day-to-day basis. I think it's very easy to draw trend lines. Like I have this trend line drawn here on Apple. It's pretty predictable. Like Apple is the safest in terms of there's not a ton of volatility. So when you draw your trend lines, they usually respect them. You start playing like Beyond Meat and get volatility every 3 days. The best way to learn is really on stable names, core names, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, stuff like that. So I would start there, draw your trend lines. And after you start drawing your trend lines, you start looking for support and resistance. Okay, so let's go back to Facebook starting back in 2020. If I delete this and I delete this, if you use your eyes, you can find support. And what I mean by support is areas where it came, or levels where it came and it reacted and it bounced. And you can see I've got 3 touches here, right? So the first time it hit this zone, cool, it bounced up, came back down, and it respected it again. So now I have 2 touches in this area here, and this is why you draw boxes and not lines, because they don't respect like if I just threw this, this line up here somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's good when you're day trading, but as a swing trader and learning to trade, just draw boxes and use them as zones.
Right.
And you'll understand that.
And that's why swing trade works, because basically like somewhere in that area is your support. So it's not, so basically it gives you a few days or something to kind of, let it make a move.
Weeks and months, if and I always say buy at support, sell at resistance, and you have an easy trade plan, which brings me to the next topic is always having a trade plan, like especially with swing trading. My trade plan for swing trading, if I was going to play Facebook, back in October of 2020 or September, I know that the last time it came down to this level here, it bounced really hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is my thesis. All right. So, are we at support? So I'm going to start there. So do I have a reason? Do I have a reason to go long? Right. So we're here now. It hit this zone. I know that the last time it hit this zone, it acted as support. So, okay, we're at support. That's step one of my trade plan. You know, are we in an uptrend? You know, what was the market doing, you know, September 20th of 2020? Were we in an uptrend? Were we flat? What were we doing? You know, that's step number two. Where are we in relation to the EMAs? And EMAs are something completely different. You know, we can talk about that another time, but I use the ADMA to trade, but support and resistance are really your friends if you can draw them out. You know, just similar to this. So 1, 2, 3. So two steps in someone like your trade plan would be very simple. Are we at support? Are we in an uptrend or are we in a downtrend? And it's very simple to look at this and say, okay, we came here once before. I'm going to take and not taking weeklies, you know, looking 3 or 4 weeks out. I'm going to take, this is 248. I'm going to take Facebook 260s, 270s, 3 weeks out. You know, I'm going to pay $2 for them. My trade plan is I want to get in the money. My stop loss is a loss underneath where this zone is. So pretend none of this stuff here. I'll even delete it if I can. Oh crap, I can't.
I know, it's all right. It's okay.
Okay. So just pretend none of this stuff over here exists yet, right?
Okay.
So just pretend none of this exists.
Right.
All you see is this here. You see the last time it hit here and the last time, and this is where you enter.
Right.
Your stop loss is going to be somewhere under here because we know that it's thin once it's under here. It's given up where it bounced from last time. The last time it hit here, it ran up 22%. So I'm going to see if it does it again. And sure enough, it did. And what did it do? It came right back to that same zone. So now I have 2 boxes. I have support and resistance, very clear and very defined. Sold off
this
again.
Is in the event that it's like right now, just I guess even, okay, so if we go back to looking at this chart, it looks like it's in an upward trend. So in that case, you would, you know, buy when it's at support. But now if it's a downward trend, are you still kind of looking at the same thing?
No, I'd flip it. I'd be looking for a short position once it came up here.
Got it.
So,
okay.
So it's just like ping pong, man. Like, you know, but
right.
Just to keep things easy, stick to going long first before you do anything. Okay. Let's look at another name. Let's look at hold on. Let's look at Microsoft. Okay. Clear support right here. Clear resistance. This is a daily chart of Microsoft. I can look, you know, and I can draw this 100 times. I got touches here. And you can use the bar if it helps you as a guide and just draw a box around it. So here, I got this here. So this is my zone. This is my zone above. 1, 2, 3 touches here. So this is major resistance here. 344 is major resistance.
Oh yeah, that's pretty clear. And especially for me being a beginner, I should be like, if the chart looks too complicated, then I should probably just skip that.
Yeah, move on to something much more simple.
Okay.
You know, eventually it's going to test 344 again, and it may be soon. You know, if we go back over here, and if we start making this move up, crap, hold on. If we start making this move up, Microsoft naturally will go with it. You see, they almost look the same. You know, because we have 7 days in a row of green. So these things track, you know, they track themselves.
So all these reds, when it gets up here to the resistance, all these reds are typically just like sell-offs then, right?
Yeah, exactly. So those are daily daily sells.
Nice.
So daily candle closes.
Okay.
Candle structure. I'll send you a link on that as well.
Please do.
The different types. So you got, you know, here I'll show. Let me see if I can draw. There's the annotation. So we'll do something like that. Do you know what type of candle that is?
Dude, I have no clue. I just see people talk about like the you know, the 15-minute candle, the hour candle. I'm like, what?
Well, those are time frames.
Okay.
So that's the basic of the basic. Okay, so learn that. So you're not into candle structure anyway. Okay. So different time frames, and this is why I said start on the daily. And I believe you do have a trading view account, if I remember.
Yeah. You had me get the premium one here.
Yeah, before you even look at the 15, if you don't have an understanding of how the daily works, don't even bother looking at the 15 because it's too advanced for you right now. So stick to the daily. Each candle represents 1 day here. Sorry, I skipped that, and I shouldn't have assumed that you knew that. Each candle here represents a day. I just clicked on the hourly, so now this is an hourly candle. Every candle represents 1 hour. This was at open. This candle right here. It's trapped under the ADMA. So stuff like that. But stick to the daily. Find your support. Find your resistance. Here, I'll even do a name like Disney. And here's a trend line. I've got touches here. So anytime you can, and it's like art, dude. Like anytime you can make a line where candles touch each other, either through wicks, which are not the solid body. Like this is a solid body candle right here. This is almost what we call it's a little advanced, but a Marabuzo candle, where it's almost no wick at all. And the wicks are these very tiny, there's a different tool. Wicks are these little tails right here. This is actually a tail. The ones up top are called wicks. This is where price was pushed up or down before recovering. Okay. All right. So you can. There's 100 videos on candle structures and all that. I'll send you links to those as well. But the main thing is support, resistance, and trend lines for you. So anytime. So just looking at this right here, this Disney chart right here, where would you say resistance would be?
At somewhere around this 157 range. So it looks like about like 150 to like 155 to like 160. Looks like your resistance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would take my rectangular box tool, and I would just draw something like that. Just pull on something like that. So I got upper wicks here. All right, bunch of candles, a bunch of stuff up here, and this is just clutter. It tried and it couldn't take it out. Right. So this is what happens. You get upper wicks when buyers come in and sellers just push them right back down. So this upper wick here again. Hold on. So these little thin parts of the candle. This is a inverted hammer. So you can write that down. Where the body is red down here, and you got a big wick. So this is an inverted hammer, and the flip side to that would be a hammer candle, something like this here.
Okay.
So this is bullish. A hammer candle is bullish, even though it didn't show it to be in this, but this is a bullish. This is a hammer candle. Usually, when you see these, you get a big green day after, but the market had other things in mind after this, as you can see, lots of red. So
yeah. Okay. So with this, so looking at this right at Disney, so you see how before we had, so this the resistance lines that we're looking at right now are between, what is this, from like February to like January to like March. So, and I see here as we're going down, it took like a big drop and it's coming back up. So would it be safe to still use those resistance, or should I kind of move over and kind of see what's going on more recent? Like what?
So the resistance are the resistance until they're not resistance anymore.
Okay.
Like that's the least way to complicate it. We're very far from 150, 160. So so you're better off finding support first. So we'll take, this rectangle tool again, and we'll just draw another box. So it's safe to say that this trend line was respected. Just imagine that you drew this trend line, but also so is this zone here. It came down to 129, 130 range, came down to 129, 130 range, and it held, right? So now we're riding up, and in theory, if your thesis is bullish, and again, you need the rest of the market to cooperate, then naturally we'd want to see it come back up to 150, 160.
Okay, so obviously if I'm swing trading, and then I will be looking at SPY things like that too, to see if where it's going. So
Exactly.
yeah, if it looks like SPY is going up, I'm swing trading, so I'm not trying to make a play today, then then that could be a good play because it's on that upward trend right now.
Exactly. So this is how and I guess I can introduce the EMA. So the ADMA is what the algorithms react to. Typically, my bullish trades are, and you can add this on your chart, just look for exponential moving average and change it to 8. And I'll show you how to do that when we get off as well. Usually, if I'm playing something that's bullish, I will typically play it once it gets above the ADMA. And you can see here, just the computers react to, or the algos react to the ADMA. So if you look here, we have a touch, we had another touch here, and it's defended it. So as long as we're above the ADMA, it's for me, it's a good trade. And that is the third part of my any trade plan that I go into. So again, are we at support? So we'll just make it a long case. So like if I'm buying calls, right? Are we at support? So yeah, we're near support. Are we in an uptrend? The market right now is in an uptrend. Yes, we are. We broke the daily trend. I'm sorry, the downward trend on the daily time frame. So remember, every day represents one candle, and we're above the ADMA. So those are the three things that I look at when I'm looking for a swing trade, and just understanding the market conditions is the most important thing. We've ran hot the last 7 days, 6-7 days. Do we chop around for another week? Do we come back down to here? And all that will determine my trade plan, and when I cut. So chopping around sideways, if I have a month, is completely fine. Losing the ADMA when the market is also going down is a cut for me. So that's part of my trade plan. So I need the market to cooperate in the direction that I'm going, and I can't lose the ADMA. That's when I will cut. Yeah, that's when I will cut swing trades. And to be honest, it hasn't been a market where you can swing calls anyway. Really, it's tough to swing puts as well, just because it's been so choppy. But when conditions do improve and they get better, you'll find it much easier to start swinging. Like, we're gonna have swing season again.
Nice.
So, and it's just a matter of finding these supports and these resistance as a trader who really doesn't know anything, it's almost easier than someone who does know a lot, because what do they say? Ignorance is bliss. You can buy here at support and really just let it run and not be nervous because you don't know how it's going to react, and premium decay and all that stuff. So support and resistance. So don't worry about gap fills. Don't worry about anything else. I would plot out support and resistance on every chart you can find on the daily time frame. And if it's not there, it's not there. There's no like, this doesn't have much support or resistance here on Square. PayPal, I drew a downward channel. So you can do something like a trend line. Just draw from top to bottom, make as many candles touch as you can. And if they're there, they're there. And if they're not, they're not.
And the other one, what you wanted to just show me, was it PayPal Square, right? You said, he said Square wasn't there because it just basically took a big drop. Because it just took a big drop. So now it's kind of chopping around right now.
Yeah, it's just basic. It looks like it's made a daily trend change. So like I can take what's a difficult one? Yeah, it's tough. 1 second. Yeah. Either way, it's made a trend change to the upside.
Right.
So it's there. It's just a matter of.
But it's not long enough.
It's going to do.
Right. Because the trend has been long enough to really make a decision, right? To like, okay, it's really coming back up. Cool.
So actually, you know what? We are at resistance here. If I really wanted to make this work. So something like that. I got a touch here and I got a touch here and a big drop. So, what happens when we get into this area again? So the last time we came, here. We dropped, 32%. So ideally, before going long, you want to make sure that it comes through here with big volume. So you want to see a big candle come like that, and more candles come like that. So that's what you want to see, because the last time we came here, it didn't work. So you just level to level, but support and resistance, something like that. So do we ping pong around again? Do we do this?
Right. Yeah, because where it's at now, if it does that, then yeah, like you said, it could be going could be going down.
Yeah. So I would do that. All the charts you can. Support, resistance, trend lines. Oh man, hold on. I never know how this happens. One sec.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how to get that out of the way. And close that. What else? DocuSign. Yeah, just chart all these names that just completely got sold off. Give me 1 second. Look at the dog. He's still a puppy, a little brat.
Look, me too. I know exactly what's got going on.
Yeah, I would stick to, just a handful of names: Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Facebook. Chart the big boys, the FANG names. Everything you see. What do I call it? Like just my core.
Okay.
Like my core list of names. I'd say these right here. Throw AMD in there too. Hold on, I'll do that over. And a bank. Like I would stick to charting. These right here.
Okay.
Something that's not going to. Cool. Something that's not going to overwhelm you. You're not playing plug. You're not playing blink. You're not playing a bunch of names that are just super volatile. Apple is safe. Yeah. Like if you learn to trade Apple, and if you learn to find support and resistance on Apple, look, here's my resistance. Here's more resistance right here. I've got several touches there. Like what happens when Apple comes back up to 175? Maybe this week, maybe next week. What happens? What happened the last time here? So
right, take a big drop.
Buying its support here would have made you plenty of money here at 150. Yeah, that's a psychological number for Apple. Yeah. So now you have, $22 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Buying its support and selling at resistance is like if you knew nothing else about the market and you didn't do anything else, buying at support and selling at resistance, you're going to significantly make more money than most people. You don't need any indicators, you don't need flow, you don't need anything. If you buy at support and sell at resistance, you probably don't need to know anything else about trading.
Nice.
Just when support holds, it holds, and it bounces to wherever it finds its home. And up here it was 170. Like this move has been made already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days. But if I had to guess, when it gets up here, it's there's probably going to be some type of retracement.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. But, yeah, because this is definitely enough for me to start practicing the charts, and it's like next time we talk, definitely want to get more into the actual candles structure, so I know more about what those mean. But I'm gonna go over the videos that you send me too, so I'll actually be more prepared too to talk about it.
I have a whole folder on candle structure, what each candle means, tails, stuff like that. Like look at this candle here. I'll draw another one for you. Netflix has a really good chart for learning purposes. And this is the one that I always go to when people want to learn about trading. I look at this. This is the most defined support and resistance that you'll ever find. And this is a span of it seems like it, July 2020 to August 2021 before it just ran up, right?
Dang.
And then completely chopped right through that. So here we are today in no man's land. To me, Netflix is unplayable until we get back in here. I think eventually it wants to get, right back up in here. Because look how long it traded there. Traded there for, almost 2 years. So, but just imagine, and I wasn't one of these people that had the foresight to see any of this. Obviously, hindsight being 2020. I know it now, but look how defined these touches are. So here's a quiz. You've watched these two zones touch twice over a month. You've been watching Netflix, right? You only watch 5 games. You've watched it hit here twice and run up each time. What are you going to do the third time it touches here? Like, just give me an example. So here, it's 465. Netflix is trading at 465. You have $2,000 to spend, and you want to take a long position. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Are we talking about options or just buying? Just
yeah,
in general,
no, options.
Oh,
just options.
Oh yeah, I would definitely buy this one. I'll buy a call for at least, what are we looking at? It kind of bounces about every month, so I want to buy a call at least like a month out for. I'll probably do it for about maybe. I mean, dang, it goes up pretty high, but I would probably do it for somewhere around like 500.
Okay, so it's a 465. You're going to take a shot at 500. That's a decent play. A month out, you're probably going to spend somewhere between $1 and $2. We'll say. Oh, there's a way for me to look at it, but it'll take too long. So yeah, so you're going to spend $1 or $2 for a 30-point move, 35-point move. The risk to reward is there because you can make, that $1 can turn into, you said $500 call.
Yeah.
So that would be. So 500 would be right in the middle of this range, right?
Right.
So you bought it. You bought down here. You want to buy a call here at $5 or 500, and know that it's been to 557 before. Yeah. There's a potential for you to turn that $1 into like $80. So wow. So from 100 to to 800, or 8,000. Excuse me. The risk to reward is there. Because where would you cut if this trade went against you? Like where's your stop loss? A daily close.
So you said we do like 465. Yeah, about like 458, 460. It seems like it doesn't really. Well, yeah, it seems like once it's right below there. Look like the lowest. Yeah, the lowest has been is 458. So once it's 460, it's kind of like all right. Well,
it's a low risk trade. So I'm going to spend $1 to $2 to try to make $80 on an options contract, just based off of history. And I got 2 previous examples here. Like the risk to reward was there for 2 years on Netflix. I know people made a fortune. I'm sure I day traded and swung some of this, but there was no, I just wish I had the foresight or even the knowledge, 2 years ago to have that. Because if it happens again, I know exactly what to do. But that just comes with, experience in trading and all that good stuff. So, but if it comes back here again, I know exactly what to do.
Nice. But, it definitely gives me a lot of insight because even when, they, like I said, the Discord groups, a lot of them will send, over what they're looking at. So it's like now I can actually look at what they're looking at myself, right. And make those same decisions too. Like, hey, is that actually a good trade? Is it not? Does that look good? Does it seem like it makes sense?
The ability to analyze your own trades is really important because the problem with the Discords, and that's all of them, even the one that I'm in, is it's tough to give up plays because I know exactly where I'm going to enter. I know exactly where I'm going to exit, and I do my best when I give out picks. And even when I was writing on my trading view, my trade is invalidated if X price closes here, whether it be on the 15-minute time frame, the hourly time frame. I'm out at X number. Like that's my stop. And so I think when you understand the trade and the trade plan of the person giving out the trade, then that's fine. But to blindly go in and say, hey, Apple calls 180, expiring in 2 days, that's difficult because everyone's risk tolerance is different. Someone's going to, someone's going to hold longer than you are. So, I have a different appetite than other people. So, it's tough to follow signals without, understanding. Later on down the road, you learn about fibs and some other stuff, but, and we're selling off here right now too. Hold on. I'm actually in some place. Hold on. I'm actually in one place.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I am in SPX. All right, cool. 445s. Or 44.50. So the market looks like it's selling off a little bit. And we kissed some levels. Market structure again. So this is an hourly time frame, as noted by the thing that says 1H. We ran into resistance right up here. So I drew my lines here. As notable resistance. It's just a psychological number here, 4,500. So this wasn't a surprise to me. What happens next? We don't know, but we're looking at levels down at 44.30, 43.73. So when you get a little bit more advanced, you get past support, resistance, and trend lines, and you really understand market structure, you'll learn to play with fibs, and that helps you get entries and exits as well, both on an intraday level, like for day trading, and long term. So when we get our trending market back, when we get a market that's going to look something like, here, go back. When we get something like this here, oops, wrong tool. You'll know it's a straight bull market. Like there's you could have threw a dart at anything and it was going to make some money for you. So now trading's a little bit more challenging. You got to be more selective. But I still think there are swing trades out there. We've given up a fraction compared to where we went up. Look how far back I have to go. So, this is healthy. It's still very healthy. But we did have a daily trend change, so we got to see where the rest of the market takes us. But I have to run, practice support, resistance, and trend lines, man. Trend lines have to have retouches in order to make them a trend line, both up and down. So, if I take something like, we'll do Apple again. It's the easiest. Yeah. So just draw like a long-term trend line here on Apple. Look at mine and then just mimic it. So this yellow line is a trend line, and I drew it because candles connected and touched. It sliced through here, but for the most part, these touches, the highlighted parts are where they touched, and they had a reaction.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's all I practiced this week. Yeah, just trend lines for resistance, and then I'll look at the candles and stuff too.
Yep. Market structure, support, resistance, trend line. Only things you need to know right now. And in regards to having a trade plan, when you want to, say we get off here and you see something you like on a name, just ask yourself 3 questions. Are we at support? Are we in an uptrend? 2 questions. Are we in an uptrend or are we at support?
Cool, perfect.
Or are we at resistance or are we in a downtrend? So those are the things that you need to ask yourself. And very few times, if you buy at support, will it fail you? So
perfect. That's why I'm
all right, brother.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate it.
You already know.
Yeah.
I will talk to you later, brother.
All right.
All right, later.